Welcome to Celestial Insights, a weekly podcast that brings the stars down to earth. I'm your host, astrologer, coach, and intuitive Celeste Brooks. My purpose is to provide practical, unique, and insightful guidance to help you navigate the energies of the week like a boss. Hello, this is Celeste of Astrology by Celeste, and on this episode, I will discuss the astrology for the week of June 18th, 2023. July is a very busy month for me in terms of speaking engagements. Transit Uranus, the planet that can bring attention from the collective. It's a planet that can symbolize when someone gets their fame increases, their name gets more well known, is conjunct my natal Mercury, the planet of communication, in my 11th house of groups and organizations. So I am giving several talks for organizations. Up on July 1st, I'm hosting a Venus Retrograde workshop. And to really help you thrive through this important transit, it's going to be a lot of fun, and you'll get some great ideas about how to get in touch with your feminine power. I am over the moon and feeling blessed and highly favored for the opportunity to speak for ISAR on July 9th. ISAR is the International Society for Astrology Research, and it's an incredible organization. I highly encourage people who are interested in astrology to sign up for the group because they have just a tremendous library. So on July 9th, I'm discussing the moon phase families. And if you've seen my talk about this before, I will be including additional information. So come see it again if you are interested and available. I am honored to be part of the Powerhouse Women Speaker Series in July for Synchronicity University. This is Nadia Shaw's teaching school, and she is an amazing astrologer. She's one of the top astrologers on YouTube. She is just this amazing, warm, knowledgeable, inspirational woman. She is like an icon. So I was just delighted when she asked me to be part of this. So you can go to the link in the show notes. My talk is on July 22nd, but there are 4 other women astrologers, and you get a special deal if you purchase the series before the end of this month. So go check it out. I'm also delighted to be speaking for the San Diego Astrological Society in person. I'm giving my moon phase family talk on Friday, July 14th, and a Moon Mastery Lunar Planning workshop on Saturday, July 15th. So would love to meet you in person, or if not, please come to one of the events that I host or see me at Synchronicity University. So you can get the information for all of these in the show notes, and I hope to see you there. First, I want to start with a look at the astrology in action and how these transits show up in the collective. Last week's episode, you can go back and listen to it, and I talked about how I was pretty sure that something really big and catastrophic would happen around June 11th, and that just happens to be when I'm taping this because of so many transits, and this was when Pluto went back into Capricorn. So go back and listen to that episode and think about the transportation accident in Philadelphia, where it's a massive catastrophe that's going to take months in order to rebuild a section of the freeway, which was damaged by a tanker truck that caused a huge explosive fire and part of the freeway to collapse. So disconnecting this really important part of a vital transportation route, I-95, around the Philadelphia area. And there were so many transits going on, and I did mention transportation kind of just half at the end. I was really focused on volcanoes, but it's so literal. Mercury, the planet of communication in Taurus, had this trine with Pluto as soon as Pluto moved back into Capricorn. The moon was on the fixed star Shiat at 28 degrees of Pisces, separating from a conjunction with Neptune. I don't know if the driver was confused or was under the influence of drugs or for some reason couldn't see clearly or something happened. Neptune rules gasoline. This truck was filled with gasoline. And then there's a catastrophe. There was something Neptunian happened, and then there's a catastrophe. And Venus square Jupiter. Venus in Leo, fire, square Jupiter in Taurus. A massive Earth structure. It's going to take billions to rebuild this part of the freeway, I expect. In Pluto and Capricorn, I always focus on big governments and business, but Capricorn also rules things like infrastructure and literal buildings. So we have this freeway collapse, and that is the astrology in action story that's going to be part of Venus retrograde because this major artery is no longer passable. It's going to mean a lot of people who plan vacations are going to have to make changes on their plans or just sit in the car forever. Yeah. Anyway, you can go back and listen to last week for more information on all the transits that just jumped out at me saying something big was happening. The theme of this week is speed kills. And there are three big things I want you to think about. So it's so interesting. Today, if you live on the East Coast, or it depends on your time zone, this new moon in Gemini was either last night or today at 12:36 a.m. Eastern Time at 26 degrees of Gemini. So it's a new moon when the sun and the moon come together, whispering secrets to each other about what they want to grow in your life. Now, I had a new moon workshop last Thursday, and you can purchase the recording if you want to dive deep into learning all about the transits and everything. I'm sure I'll talk about the transportation catastrophe and all of the other stories that come out this week that related to the astrology. So I love to talk to people so that the astrology comes to life and we can see some of the charts. So I will touch up on these things in the workshop. But Gemini rules mental processes and communication. It's also about things that are near to us. We can think of Gemini as associations with early schooling. It's naturally associated with the third house of your your local environment in modern astrology. I think there's going to be this month is going to lunation cycle is going to go by so quickly. It's just going to be a blur because Gemini is a fast, adaptable, immutable sign. Mercury rules this sign. It's at home in Gemini right now. And in Mercury is at almost top speed, just zipping through the sign. So, but what's interesting about this and why I'm saying speed kills is because the new moon is square Neptune, the planet of illusions and delusions that can be associated with confusion. It's a very romantic and creative energy, but the precision of Gemini and the mental clarity that Mercury can bring in its home sign is going to be blurred and confused. So I think we will maybe have even more transportation accidents that are caused. They could be caused by somebody on substances like drugs or Neptunian or fog or just bad weather. All sorts of things can cause traffic accidents. Yeah. So and the sun is square Neptune. That is classic. Yeah. There's just so much going on that I think this could be a good thing to remind yourself again and again is how speed kills. So speed doesn't just kill in road accidents. Think about a new burgeoning relationship where you're trying to rush straight into it. And then you make mistakes and it just causes there could be problems or communication issues that this relationship just goes flat, especially with Venus going retrograde, meaning in the sign of relationships, there can be, twists and turns, confusion and all sorts of things, disagreements and conflicts in relationships. So slow down. in everything you're doing, whether it's a love relationship or a business relationship, or it's just about you moving through the world yourself. Mars is parallel Uranus, and parallels are like secret conjunctions. Mars, the planet of action, conflict, accidents, also like violence. Parallel Uranus, like sudden shocking violence, and it could be from someone who is unusual or different in some way, could be coming up. There could be, hopefully not, some kind of, in the United States, it's like every time you turn around, there's some kind of school shooting or something like that. Yeah, because this new moon is King Kunk's Pluto, which is also about catastrophes. Yeah, we'll see what happens, but don't rush around. If you see someone acting erratically, keep yourself safe. Now, a lot of new relationships will be starting because this new moon is conjunct Juno, the planet of marriage and relationships. And this can be a really beautiful new start or new step or new change in your relationship about how you communicate with each other. And I'm going on my first vacation together with my boyfriend. So my boo. So we'll see how it goes. I'm expecting us to have an amazing time. And I'm going to be continually thinking about, driving slowly and making sure we stay safe and alert about what's going on the road and not letting ourselves get distracted as we are driving. The next thing I want to make you aware of is that Jupiter in Taurus is sextile Saturn in Pisces, and Saturn is retrograde, and the retrograde started on Saturday. When a planet goes retrograde, there can be delays, reversals. Saturn slows things down, and Saturn and Jupiter are pretty opposite principles. Jupiter makes things bigger, it grows things, it's about blessings and abundance. Saturn constricts, Saturn delays, Saturn separates. And this transit is exact on Monday, and sextiles are opportunities. So one thing that can happen, this is a week where some people can be thinking that they're going to close a deal and something unexpected delays it. I spent most of my career in sales and marketing, and I would work on these big deals, and sometimes there would be things that, you think you're getting ready to sign on day X and it's delayed for some reason. Now, some people, it's going to be like, we don't have the money anymore or something like that. So, try to take a deep breath and calm down. If some big thing you thought was going to come to completion has some unexpected headaches. Some people will be, company X thought they were getting the deal and there's a reversal and they decide to go with company Y. So somebody's unhappy, the other person's happy. These sorts of things are going to be going on this week. I am using this transit because Saturn in the sky is squaring my Venus, indulgence. So I am going to do one of my Prolon fasts. I love Prolon. It was my birthday month in May, and it was Uranus on my Mercury in my 11th house is also not just organizations, it's friends. And so many people took me out for my birthday, and I had so many events going on. It was eating, it was drinking, it was all this sort of stuff. I could see it in my face and body that, I put on a few pounds. I know exactly how many. It's 4. Anyway, I am getting control back, and I'm doing my 5-day Prolon fast, which is this fast mimicking diet that changed my life when I did it the first time back in 2021. It reset my metabolism. If you're interested in learning about it, I actually am an affiliate because it worked so well for me. It helped me lose 20 pounds. Anyway, there's a link in the show notes. My code you get 10% off is 10 Celeste. So if you want to join me, you can grab the Prolon or just do it when you want. But Saturn retrograde is a great time to restrict Piscean things like food, indulgence, all that kind of stuff. Or if you have a drug thing, anything like that. Jupiter also is about like overabundance. So Jupiter sextile Saturn, I'm taking the opportunity sextile to get some control, Saturn over indulgence, Jupiter. Yeah. And Venus is getting ready to go retrograde in the sign of Leo. So, getting my beach body ready. The last thing I want to make you aware of is that the sun will move into the sign of Cancer on Wednesday, June 21st. This is the Cancer Solstice. And solstice means stand still. So from our perspective on Earth, it looks like the sun stands still for about 3 days. It's the longest day of the year. And Cancer is a sign. It's a water sign. It's a cardinal sign. So cardinal signs are pivoting. The pivots change the season. So we change from spring into summer. We can think about emotions with Cancer, mothers, family, home, family, and foundations. So it's a great time to make plans, to do things with your family, to do anything to beautify your home, things like that. Really think about what makes you feel safe and secure is something you can think about with the sign of Cancer. So at the chart we cast for this Cancer ingress, Saturn is on the descendant for the United States of America. The descendant has to do with the other. So there can be a problem or a difficulty with one of either our allies, seventh house, the descendant, or a partner. So it'd be really interesting to see what happens. The sun is conjunct Atlantis, which is the lost city that was submerged underwater. So there could be news about what went on when that dam that burst in Ukraine and all these towns are drowned or like submerged in water, and maybe there'll be something about where we are helping them, or there'll be a serious problem, hopefully not nuclear, that happens in relationship with that dam that came down. Yeah, let's hope not. This could be like a real catastrophe because the water was used to cool the biggest nuclear power plant in Europe. And when the dam failed, I know they're scrambling to fix it, but that's really concerning, especially looking at this chart. So hopefully that's not what this is about. Yeah. Anyway, let's not think about that. Please, no. On Sunday, the word of the day is decelerate. So slow down. Neptune, the planet of illusions and delusions, and Juno, the asteroid of partnership, are in a square. Neptune's in Pisces, Juno's in Gemini. They're both at 27 degrees. Now, you could be awash with love. I mean, I'm going to be going on a trip with my boo, and we're going to be having a great time and feeling all lovely-dovely. But some people may feel disillusioned in their relationships. Or it's a great time to forgive your partner if they do something that irritates you. Hopefully in the collective, there's not a collapse of a ally situation that causes problems with Saturn retrograde and all of this kind of stuff. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. The moon will enter the sign of Cancer at 3:57 a.m. Pacific time. This can be emotional, especially, this can be emotional for a lot of people. So, somebody could say something to you and then somebody falls into tears when the moon moves from Gemini to Cancer. So just allow yourself some kindness. Yeah, the sun will square Neptune, could be big storms or water events or things like that are brought to our attention in the collective. This could be when Jimmy Carter dies, Saturn retrograde, the spiritual leader dies, sun square Neptune. Yeah. If it wasn't yesterday, it could be today, or it could be, 10 years from now. I don't know. We'll see what happens with Jimmy Carter. I hope he's comfortable. On Monday, the word of the day is shadows. Mercury is sesquiquare Pluto, and this is a hard aspect. Mercury communication, Pluto, power struggles. It can be about like domination, things like that. Watch your words. Mercury and Gemini can be quick. Hurt feelings can lead to like an emergence of some deep emotions from someone that could lead to broken relationships, or you could say something or do something around this time that could come back to haunt you. We are in the shadow now of Venus retrograde. So stuff that begins today could have a boomerang back when the planet of love, beauty, harmony, relationships turns in the sky and appears to come backwards starting on July 22nd. Yeah, the date I'm having my talk. Ooh, I hope it goes well. I know it will. Yes, it will. Anyway, just be mindful. Shadow stuff could come up to your attention. On Tuesday, the word of the day is spotlight. This day has a lot of aspects. Yeah, it could be interesting. The sun is conjunct Juno at 28 Gemini. Juno's a partnership. Sun spotlighting. This is a great day to give someone else props. Highlight someone's great work or how they've helped you or just how you've noticed what they do is really positive and impactful, and be specific with what you say with Mercury in Gemini. Also, Venus in Leo is contra-parallel Saturn in Pisces, so there's this little opposition going on. So for me, it'll be limiting pleasure. There could be news about an actor. It's like a secret opposition. Yeah, I want you to control what you say as well. Moon will enter Leo at 3:03 p.m. Pacific time. And Leo moons is fiery energy, is feisty, it's fun, it's fabulous. I love Leo moons. Now, Mars on this day is conjunct Black Moon Lilith. So there could be stories in the news about murderous women or something like that, or a woman who will not be subservient. Mars, the planet of action, conjunct Black Moon Lilith, the woman who was Adam's first wife and wouldn't lay under him. Yeah. And left the Garden of Eden and said, I'll see you later. Yeah. Black Widow is an amazing movie with Deborah Winger and Teresa Russell from 1987. I think the tagline was she mates and then she kills. I love that movie. That's something to watch if you haven't seen it. Now, Wednesday could be the toughest day of the week. The word of the day is exposure. The sun is King Kunk's Pluto. King Kunk says, move us into new situations where we have to release and let go of something. And Pluto, that deep volcanic energy. It's about power, domination, secrets revealed about a leader. There's been like Donald Trump, Boris Johnson, and Nicola Sturgeon, 3 leaders who all have had big problems and steep falls from grace over the, recent times. Mercury is parallel Uranus, a secret conjunction. Now, this just may be for us Trump, going bananas on his fake Twitter or something like that. Mercury, Uranus, he's always doing something because he's a very Uranian figure who does whatever he wants, regardless of social conventions. And Mercury, he likes to talk. So it might be him, but it could be something else, something shocking that's surprising on this day. Now, the sun enters Cancer. This is the day of the Cancer Solstice at 7:57 a.m. Pacific time. People may get in their feelings. What are you going to do to self-soothe? Are you going to take a bath? Are you going to meditate? Gemini rules the breath. Sun and Mercury in Gemini. Yeah. So think about how you keep yourself safe and secure. The waxing crescent moon begins at 15 Leo on a world point. So we are going to get some understanding about something. A woman could be in the news, a celebrity, a royal figure. It could have something to do with lions. Yeah. Now, they're fire sextiles, so great things can drop into your lap. The person who thought they were losing the deal found out they won the deal, and they get on the dotted line. Mercury in Gemini sextiles Mars and Leo. They're both at 18 degrees of the sign. So if you have planets around there, you could have some surprise drop in your lap, or somebody could just start screaming at you or something like that as well. Let's hope that's not happening. And then Mercury will sextile Chiron in Aries soon after that. So this double Mercury news about, hopefully it's not something where people get hurt. We'll see what happens. Yeah, Ceres also enters the sign of Libra. Ceres is the asteroid of nurturing the mother, that sort of thing. It also could have to do with unions or something like that. The United States has Libra at its midheaven. There may be some news about unions. Now, this is a day that Moon and Venus are conjunct, so it's a Venus day. So can you have some pleasure? Toot someone else's horn, your own horn, like, say something that helps somebody shine, whether it's yourself or others. On Thursday, the word of the day is careful. Pluto separates from a quincunx from 29 Juno and Gemini, asteroid of partnerships, and it goes to a trine with Vesta, the asteroid has to do with home and sisterhood and the Vestal Virgins in the sign of Taurus. So yeah, all three planets at 29 degrees, something's going on this day. So just be careful. Gemini can have associations with wind. And yeah, I don't know what's happening, but it's likely something's going to make news on this day with three bodies at the 29th anaretic degree. Mars trine Chiron. Be mindful of sharp cutting tools. When Mars trine my Chiron, I cut myself on some glass and I look down and I'm bleeding. It happened so fast. So there can be accidents with sharp cutting tools. Trines take away all resistance. Mars is at 19 Leo. Chiron's at 19 Aries. The removal of all obstacles. Hopefully it's not a violent event. But yeah, be careful on Thursday. On Friday, the word of the day is emergency. The moon enters Virgo at 3:35 a.m. Pacific time. So someone cuts themselves and then goes to the emergency room. Moon in Virgo. Virgo's associated with health, also service. So it's a great day to bring order to chaos, or like somebody at work may start acting like the house is on fire. So Virgo moons can bring order to chaos, but don't let someone make their poor planning your emergency. Can you have healthy boundaries? Someone's boss on this day is going to stroll into their office at 4:45 talking about how they need this report right away. So yeah, hopefully it's a millennial who's going to tell their boss to go stuff it and I'm going home. Yeah, I love that about millennials, how they can set clear boundaries that some of us older people didn't do with our bosses. The sun is sextile the North Node, sun in Cancer, North Node in Taurus, both at 1 degree. So this can be like some internal spotlights on how you want to move forward. On Saturday, the word of the day is illusions. Venus is contra-parallel Neptune, so this is a secret opposition, and Jupiter. Rose-colored glasses. Watch your food and drink if you're out on Saturday night. Allow yourself some flights of fantasy. Someone's going to meet Prince or Princess Charming and just have a great time, but slow down. Don't rush in. Don't go running home with anyone that you just met is my suggestion. Take it a little slow, but let yourself have the fun of the fantasy and the dream. So that's it for this week's episode. Feel free to email me at celeste@astrologybyceleste.com with any astrology and action stories. Take care, and I'll catch you next week. Thank you for listening to Celestial Insights. To learn more about my work, please visit my website, astrologybyceleste.com, where I offer personal readings, horary consultations, cosmic coaching, group events, and classes to help guide people to higher levels of fulfillment. You can also find me on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook at Astrology by Celeste. If you enjoyed Celestial Insights, please help others find the show. Follow, rate it 5 stars, or write a nice review. I would so appreciate it. I'm astrologer, coach, and intuitive Celeste Brooks, and I'll be back next week.